Welcome back. Members of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives in tertiary institutions across the country have staged peaceful protests demanding the federal government pay their outstanding allowances and other entitlements. They're also asking for better working facilities and calling for an end to what they call discriminatory promotions. Our correspondent, Mary Alale Yusuf, reports.
Only 1 week after protests by their parent body, the Joint Health Sector Unions, nurses nationwide stage another protest, this time without the other health workers. At the National Orthopedic Hospital Iwobi in Lagos, they proceed from the nurses' lounge to the administrative block. They insist that there are grievances peculiar to them, demands for which they claim rulings have been granted in their favor in the courts.
When you say you're promoting us from 11 to 11, we don't see that as promotion. And suddenly the Ministry of Health decides to remove the teaching allowance for this cadre.
Only after a long period of chanting do they get the medical director's attention.
They are national issues, so we'll pass the message to the minister.
At the Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta in Ogun State, the story is no different. Patients lie or sit around unattended. Activities disrupted for a day at the Federal Medical Center, Asaba in Delta State, South Nigeria. Their caregivers are out on the grounds, chanting solidarity songs.
In Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, we lost a nurse because of lack of materials to work with.
As in Asaba, so in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, where nurses from the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital give a display, just like in a stage play, only this time it's serious business.
The call duty allowance was approved in 2001. Do you know what? The ratio is 4:2:1.2. Who is taking the 4? The doctor is taking the 4. The nurse that works all day takes 1.2%.
Nurses in Niger State, North Central Nigeria, observed the Day of Solidarity with their peaceful protest. And in Kaduna State, members from the National Eye Center, the National Ear Care Center, and the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital come together to protest poor implementation of government policies. The response from hospital authorities is the same.
Your message, will be heard by the government.
The ball, it seems, is firmly in the court of the federal government, and nurses, patients, and the general public would be interested to see how these issues will be resolved. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
Let's switch gears now to Melinda Akinlami, who has the day's business major stories.
You first. First Bank.
Welcome to Business News. Traders at Nigeria's currencies market say the central bank sells $660 million in 3- and 5-month forward futures contracts aimed at clearing a backlog of dollar demand. And this is the first major dollar sale to the key sector by the Apex Bank this year, as financial regulator continues to manage the floating currency market introduced in June 2016. Currency traders tell Channels Television that the FX auction has stabilized the Naira exchange rate at the interbank OTC and parallel market. Nigeria's manufacturing activity fell to 48.2 index point in January 2017, down from 52.0 in December last year. And that's according to the Central Bank of Nigeria's latest Purchasing Managers Index report released on Tuesday. The report shows that while manufacturing PMI dropped to 48.2 index points, the non-manufacturing PMI stood at 49.4 points, a lower loss compared to 47.1 points recorded last year. 10 of the 16 subsectors surveyed by the Apex Bank posted losses in the month under review. It's a bearish start for Nigeria's equities market on the first trading day of February as the market extended losses from the previous sessions. Bisi Adebayo tells us more.
welcome to the Stock Markets Report. The shares of Medview Airlines were the most actively traded on Wednesday, with a turnover of 72.47 million a day after the carrier lists nearly 10 billion shares on the local burse. Despite heavy transactions of the day, the shares of consumer giants fell, while the biggest cement makers gained, dragging the all-share index lower by 0.5%. The drop was attributed to the negative performance of price heavyweights from the consumer goods sectors and some other industrial bellwethers. The top three losers for the day were Forte Oil, Guinness and Unilever, while WAPCO, Carberton and Access Bank led the gainers category. Volume turnover increased against Tuesday's session as the transactions churned out a total of 305.01 million shares worth over 1.57 billion naira in 2,620 deals. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. I am BC Adebayo.
Thank you so much, Visi. U.S. stocks traded higher in the first hour of Wednesday's session despite being a busy day of earnings and decision-makings. VOA Channels TV business correspondent Jill Malandrino has more from New York.
Welcome to the first trading day of February 2017. U.S. stocks open higher this morning, although we're coming off of those highs, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average in the green for the first time in 4 days and the S&P 500 up for the first time in 5 days. The major averages are looking to snap out of their recent slide, helped by Apple last night after the company reported stronger than expected quarterly results, which lifted tech stocks early. Stocks finished an otherwise strong January with a mixed showing on Tuesdays as investors remained concerned over President Trump's travel curbs and the resulting pushback. Now, today marks another fairly busy day of economic data ahead of the FOMC results from its two-day meeting at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. A hike is possible, but highly unlikely as the Fed is still assessing the impact of the new administration and as analysts look for clues about the timing of future increases. It will be another busy round of earnings reports after the market closes, including widely traded Facebook. And analysts seem to like this one. They expect another blockbuster quarter as the company builds on its dominance in mobile advertising. Investors will be looking to see if Facebook can maintain its dizzying pace of revenue growth, which may require it to capture some advertising market share from TV companies. From the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Jill Malandrino, and this is VOA Channel's Business News.
Major stock markets in the world ended mixed today following the U.S. Federal Reserve's decision to retain its benchmark interest rate as its first monetary policy review this year. And that's Business News. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Melinda Akinlami.
You first. First Bank.
Japanese paint manufacturer Kansai Plascon has finalized plans to partner with Paints and Coatings Manufacturers of Nigeria, PCMN. The partnership will birth high-quality paints into the Nigerian market. The foreign direct investment is expected to create jobs for Nigerians.
A press briefing to hint journalists about the reason for the gathering. The management of Kansai Plascon, a Japanese paint company with a 128-year history, discloses it is bringing its business into Nigeria for the first time.
Our paint is very good design as well as good quality, unless otherwise, and also high technology. And we cover not only the old, but auto refinish #1, decorative also, and also, as I explained.
Kansai Plascon, with a success story in Southern Africa, is one of the top 10 global paint companies. The company has finalized plans to partner with Paints and Coatings Manufacturers of Nigeria, PCMN.
This is a time for us to reach out for better quality, for good standards, for world-class position. And we are indeed very happy in the foreign direct investment that is being brought into Nigeria.
We are planning to move forward with a very large initiative in terms of training and upliftment of paint applicators, as well as developing paint applicators into their own businesses to actually uplift the population of Nigeria.
Press briefing over, the main deal of the evening is next. The unveiling of the different quality paints expected in Nigerian markets in the shortest of time. Representative of the Minister of Industry, Trades and Investment, Mr. Ibukunle Adams, takes the minister's message, which highlights the vision of Nigeria in improving its manufacturing sector.
The federal government has made it a priority to diversify our revenue base from oil to non-oil and has embarked on a radical industrial revolution plan for sustainable growth and development.
Louis Saha of Manchester United is the brand ambassador for Kansai Plascon paint.
Total E&P Nigeria Limited and its partners have hosted fellows of Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, to a brainstorming session in Lagos. More than 50 fellows made up of young lecturers from faculties of science and engineering across universities in Nigeria were sponsored to MIT on internship. Over the last 5 years, Total has engaged in this capacity building endeavor, and the fellows are expected to, upon return, translate their experiences to improve learning in their various institutions.
By the time we saw all these things, everybody ran.
Tailor-made solutions for defined problems, square pegs in square hole. That's the passion Total E&P Nigeria Limited and her partners brings to all their endeavors. This gathering of fellows from the MIT Total ETT program is one of such intervention in education.
It is our belief that one of the best ways to support and to transform our local economy is through capacity building. That is why we and our partners have invested in this area.
The desire to have industry meet the academia to address capacity deficiency, enhance curriculum of science and engineering faculty meant that Total and her partners facilitated young Nigerians from universities to collaborate with faculty at Massachusetts Institute of Technology on problem-solving approach to learning.
MIT professors monitor them even when they return back to Nigeria, and they follow up with what they are doing. So this program itself is one of the impact assessment. That is why we gathered them together today to assess what they have been doing. And then today we have defined, we had our steering committee last week, we have defined a kind of monitoring system which we will be visiting the universities, assessing even through the students, the pass rates of students also. Are they becoming entrepreneurs? These are the metrics we intend to put in place.
How important is it to tweak science and engineering curriculum for marketplace value, judging from the exposure?
The approach at MIT is problem solving. It's not just about theoretical definitions. So the same way, if everybody continues to think creatively to solve problems, the way students are taught to solve problems at MIT, we won't have a number of the problems we have today.
We're very proud of what we have done, and this is the reason why we are telling everybody it can be done. If you can do it with professors, it means you can do it with students, you can do it with polytechnic lecturers, you can do it with secondary school teachers, and there's a very, very huge playing field for everybody to participate.
A new set of change agents have been unveiled. The academic space for tertiary education is about to experience a revolution that will produce new set of graduates fit for industry. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
And next on the news at 10, Polish trainer Henryk Kapasak resigns as Tunisia coach following the Carthage Eagles' elimination from the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations. We'll have more in sports news. Please join us again.